令状をもって命じる。可能な限りこの町から離れた場所へと転移せよ。勘違いするな。俺が英霊より強いというわけじゃない。相性の問題だ。もちろん同じ宝具でもサーバントに扱うなら話は別だがな。
We talk a lot about aura these days, but you don't know true aura until you've seen a villain solo an entire army without taking their hands out of their pockets. We're celebrating that dark energy. The characters who didn't need a monologue to prove they're strong, they just needed 5 seconds to let you know that they are him. I've never hated a fictional character so quickly, yet respected his hustle so much. Naoya enters the post-Shibuya wasteland like he owns the place, and honestly, with that speed, I guess he kinda does. We're used to curse spirits being the threat, but then the CEO of misogyny pulls up with an accent thicker than his ego and a projection sorcery technique that turns physics into a suggestion. The flex here isn't just raw power, it's the sheer disrespect. He treats Choso, a literal death-painting womb brother, like a minor inconvenience on his morning commute. He's zipping around at subsonic speeds, casually sitting on his opponents and delivering insults with a smile that makes you want to punch your monitor.
元凶は9時から2時方向にライオン軍。詳しい説明は君らにはもう二度と危険ってやつは訪れない。
You wake up in a stone world where civilization has been dead for thousands of years. You revive the strongest primate high schooler. You expect him to be groggy, maybe ask for a glass of water. Instead, Tsukasa wakes up and then one-taps a male lion like he's swatting a mosquito. It's such a primal introduction, isn't it? In a show dedicated to the slow, methodical grind of science, Tsukasa represents the terrifying immediacy of brute force. He didn't need a weapon, he became one. Science might be power, but muscles are the law. It was brutal, efficient, and undeniably cool.
止まれ！イランには何もさせるな。一流はスパイの理由に。
When the pro-heroes raided the hideout, they thought they had the upper hand. Then, from the darkness, the symbol of evil just floated there. The aura was suffocating. We watched top-tier heroes, people we'd spent 3 seasons idolizing, freeze in pure, unadulterated terror. He dismantled Best Genist, the number 4 hero, with a casual flick of his wrist, all while sounding like a disappointed father on a breathing machine. It shifted the entire genre of the show from a superhero action romp to a psychological horror. He wasn't fighting them, he was tolerating their existence. That's the definition of presence.
息子よ。
今ここで始末しよう。
Mashle is supposed to be a comedy. It's Harry Potter meets One Punch Man. We're here for cream puffs and deadlifts, but when Innocent Zero descended from the sky during the Divine Visionary exam, the laughter died instantly. The sky turned dark, the music dropped out, and this guy cast times to freeze the entire arena. It's one thing to be strong, it's another to turn the cast into statues. He casually walked up, stole what he came for, and treated the most powerful wizards in the world like background assets in a video game. It was tonal whiplash that snapped the audience's neck. We went from gag manga logic to, oh, everyone might actually die in 3 seconds flat. It proved that while MASH might be playing a game, Innocent Zero is running the simulation. We all expected the Demon King to be hiding in a fortress, sitting on the throne of skulls. Instead, Tanjiro snuffs him out in downtown Tokyo. He's wearing a fancy suit, looking like a smooth criminal, living a totally normal human life. The flex comes when he realizes Tanjiro is onto him. He doesn't panic, he doesn't start a brawl, he casually slashes a passerby's neck so fast the human eye can't track it, turns the guy into a demon to cause a riot, and walks away without breaking his stride. He used the chaos of innocent lives as a smoke bomb. It was cold, calculated, and terrifyingly efficient. It showed us that Muzan isn't just a monster, he's a virus blending into society. CGI anime gets a bad rep, I know. But when Knives descended on the town of Geniora Rock, he turned the medium into a masterpiece of destruction. Walking through a storm of heavy Gatling gunfire with millions of blades swirling around him, he looked like a biblical angel of death. The way he sliced through the Nebraska family's massive mech was graceful, almost artistic actually. He wasn't angry, he was serene. He stripped the plant, leveled the town, and psychologically broke his brother Vash, all without breaking a sweat. It was a scale of devastation that made the previous episodes feel like a tutorial. If Vash is the humanoid typhoon, Knives is the entire climate change crisis. Come on, you heard it in your head. The awakening of the Pillar Men is arguably the most fabulous display of dominance in anime history. After thousands of years of slumber, Wamuu wakes up, sees a group of armed Nazis, and decides that walking around them is just too much effort. So he links hands with his masters and walks through a soldier, absorbing half the man's body into his own just because he was in the way. No attacks, no shouting, just biology-defining casual dominance. Then they strike a pose that would break a normal human's spine. It established the bizarre horror of their abilities immediately. They were ancient, they were untouchable, and God, were they stylish. spent literal months of real-time reading hyping up the S-rank hunters. They were the cavalry, the elites, then the Ant King, hatched on Jeju Island and treated them like a jagged little appetizer. This moment is seared into my brain because of how fast the hope evaporated. He didn't just break the S-rank healer, he casually bit his head off before anyone realized he moved. He then looked at Goto Ryuji, the guy we thought was a rival to the main character, and swatted him like a fly. It was a feeding frenzy. Watching him learn human speech and steal abilities in real time was a distinct kind of horror. It cemented the fact that without Jinwoo, humanity wasn't just outmatched, they were on the menu. There's something deeply unsettling about a villain who treats violence like a science experiment. When Goto walks into the Yakuza headquarters, he isn't there to send a message. He's there to test out his new body. The Yakuza are armed with shotguns and katanas. Goto stands there with a blank expression and turns the room into a slaughterhouse. He's dodging bullets by sensing the air pressure, chopping through steel doors, and dismantling an entire crime syndicate with the emotional investment of someone doing their laundry. It was mechanical, it was precise, and it cemented him as the apex predator of the series. Logic in Baki is a suggestion that the author ignores daily, but nothing summarizes the absurdity of this franchise better than Yujiro Hanma's introduction. We weren't talking about beating up a fighter, we were talking about the man getting annoyed by an earthquake, punching the ground and stopping the tectonic plates from moving. I don't care what physics textbooks you've read, in the Baki-verse, testosterone overrides geology. It's the ultimate shut-up move. By punching the planet into submission, Yujiro let us know that there's no technique, no strategy, and no martial art that can touch him. He's a natural disaster in the shape of a man. It's stupid, it's hilarious, and it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Fairy Tail operates on a simple rule. If you believe in your friends hard enough, you win. Then Acnologia shows up on Tenro Island and said, "That's cute." The strongest mages in the guild threw everything they had at this black dragon, friendship beams, unison raids, the works, and he didn't even take a scratch. He landed, roared, and nuked the entire island off the map. For a series that usually feels light-hearted, the arrival of the black dragon of the apocalypse brought a sense of hopelessness that was palpable. He was the ceiling of the world, and he looked down on them like ants.
もしもし
賞金首は至る所にいるぞ。えらいことになっちまったな。今だこのよせ。
もしもおかしいね。
刻む。
We'd seen powerful Logia users before, but Admiral Kizaru was a different breed of nightmare. He arrives riding a cannonball, talks like he's high on cough syrup, and moves at the speed of light. Watching him dismantle the supernovas, the pirates deemed the worst generation, was humiliating. He kicked Urouge through a building, blinded Hawkins, and broke Zoro's spirit, all while asking Moshi Moshi into a listening bug. The discontent between his lazy, slow voice and his instantaneous, devastating attacks made him terrifying. He proved that the gap between a rookie pirate and a marine admiral wasn't a gap, it was an ocean.
Ningen wa mina goroshiじゃ。
Dandadan is chaos incarnate. It's aliens, ghosts, and romance all in a blender. But when the evil eye possessed the wholesome golden retriever energy of Gigi, the show stopped being funny very quickly. The atmosphere shifted from spooky adventure to we're gonna die in this house. The evil eye didn't use fancy spells, he used raw, unadulterated violence. Seeing him twist Gigi's body into a weapon and pummel Okarun with the kinetic energy of a freight train was visceral. He calls it playing ball, but he's playing with people's lives. It was a possession that felt heavy, transforming a lovable side character into a juggernaut of malice that the main duo literally couldn't scratch. It was the moment the stakes got real and they got heavy.
ついに通じたぞ。
Gintama loves to make you laugh until you cry, but Utsuro's introduction just made you cry. But the flex wasn't just the face reveal, it was the sword play. He was moving with a grace that made their desperate attacks look like child's play. He was immortal, unkillable, and carried the weight of hundreds of years of sorrow. It was a tragic, beautiful display of skill that signaled the end of the comedy and the beginning of the end.
王の誕生だ。まだ早い。
黙れ。
地層を用意せ。吹け。
Usually, a villain has to train or steal power. Meruem was just built different. Literally, moments after bursting out of his mother, RIP, he's already bored. He kills the squadron leader with a casual tail whip just because the guy was talking too much. The Chimera Ant-Arc didn't have a grand plan initially, he just had absolute authority. He walked out of the nest, looked at the world, and decided he owned it. The speed, the cruelty, and the sophisticated vocabulary coming from a newborn created an instant aura of invincibility. He didn't need to prove he was the strongest, his mere existence was the proof.
彼女の宝具の性質を正確に見破れる魔術師が一人でもいれば警察職にも勝ちの目が出るかもしれんな。
おとなしくしろ。
しかしだ、困るんだ。そんないい勝負の末に納得するような死に方じゃ。
ジョン
いい悲鳴だ。勘違いするな。俺が英霊より強いというわけじゃない。相性の問題だ。もちろん同じ宝具でもサーバントが使うなら話は別だがな。
The Fate franchise is confusing, we know this, but Fate's strange fake introduces Jester. He's tanking fatal blows just for the thrill of it. It's a flex of pure durability and insanity. He showed us that in a Holy Grail war filled with legendary heroes, the true monsters might just be the masters watching from the sidelines. Come on, you knew this was coming, didn't you? This is the gold standard. The blueprint, if you like. When Madara Uchiha was reanimated, he didn't just fight the Shinobi Alliance, he danced on their graves. He charged into an army of thousands with Daijutsu, tossing bodies like ragdolls. Then he drops a Susanoo. Then, just when you think they've survived, he casually asks the Kage, what will you do about the second one? And drops 2 meteors on their heads. It changed the scale of Naruto forever. He turned a war arc into a survival horror game for the nameless ninjas. It remains, to this day, the greatest I am him moment in anime history.